You're here, I'm queer, and welcome back to my channel. At long last, I will be making Chibiusa in her Black Lady form from Sailor Moon. As much as I want to make all the characters, specifically the evil ones, they just take so long to make and I like the mini breaks in between, so I was like, it's been a while since I made Sailor Moon character, so it's time, it's time to do it. I've always loved her character design as Black Lady because it's so elegant. I'm also obsessed with this specific artwork by Naoko Takeuchi that drew inspiration from this Yves Saint Laurent ad for Opium starring Kate Moss. So this is where I will be drawing most of the aesthetics and details from. This is a sketch I have, and as you can see, I added a bit more details to her just to make her look more grand and regal. Overall, I wanted to stay true to her original aesthetics with a few changes here and there to also make her look more like a magical girl, or in this case, a magical lady. And speaking of magic and magical girls, today's sponsor is Switchcraft. Switchcraft is a super unique Match 3 style game, but with a magical twist. It features TV-worthy writing, a choose-your-own adventure, and 1000 magical Match 3 levels. Let's teleport to a world of magic and mystery. Right off the bat, I will say that I absolutely love the art style in this game. It's super colorful and the characters just pop, and I can really appreciate the artists that came up with these character designs. The aesthetic resembles modern graphic novels with detailed hand-painted visuals. I can also appreciate how inclusive the 85 plus characters are, and range from a variety of backgrounds as well as disabled and LGBTQIA representation. Switchcraft is a captivating mystery story about modern-day witches with a strong female witch protagonist, which you guys know I love, who wants to solve her best friend's disappearance. The storyline in this game is honestly TV-worthy. I am so invested. The fact that it's choose-your-own adventure also really adds to the experience and immerses me in the story. Who do you guys think is the suspect in Lydia's disappearance? I don't know about you guys, but I have a bad feeling about Professor Arash. I don't know, he just gives me bad vibes for some reason. But yeah, let me know in the comments below who you guys think is the suspect. Download and play Switchcraft for free and unlock the magical mystery. I'll leave a link in my description below, so make sure you check it out. It really helps my channel if you guys use the link. Again, thank you to Switchcraft for sponsoring this video. Now let's go ahead and begin the transformation. For our muse today, I will be using this kind of hybrid model muse Barbie. You guys know she's made an appearance quite a few times before, but this is my favorite one. I believe this is I keep forgetting what she is, but I think she is the Aphrodite character Barbie. She has the model muse legs and body, but she has articulated arms. They're not like made to move arms, but they're articulated. She has a beautiful face as well. I really love her face shape and the mold of her. So yeah, it's so good. I mean, obviously her red hair is also beautiful, but it has to go. Not for this time. Although the monomuse bodies do have more of a silhouette, like a nipped-in waist, I do want to exaggerate it a little bit to make it look like she's wearing a corset. So I am slicing her in half, the usual. And also because clothes typically on a Barbie scale adds so much bulk, so we want to kind of level it out and balance it out by taking in her waist. And for this one, I always use epoxy sculpt, so I just mix two parts together evenly, and it cures over time. It is like a industrial clay. And for this one, I am doing the method I did for Penelope Pitstop, which is I am putting a screw in between her, so we can actually give her some rotation also at the waist. So it's really fun. So this is what I have. As you can see, I also sanded all of the clay together to make it really smooth, and it looks like she's wearing a corset already. So let's go ahead and drill her. Both parts, I'm drilling the torso and also the bottom half, the legs, so we can put the screw in. And this is the screw that I use, oh, forgive me, actually, hanger bolts. This one is from Home Depot. And yeah, this is the size, this is the specs. As you can see, one end is a little bit more blunt and the other is pointy. So either or, it really works. And you just screw in very, very carefully. And voila, there you go. Now we can have a little bit of rotation at the waist. You know, she can tilt and stuff, so it's really, really fun. Now let's go ahead and work on her wig. And for this one, let's prepare her hair and remove this beautiful, gorgeous red hair. We just need a clean canvas to work with. Let's pop on her wig cap, which I made off camera, and I'm actually going to put a tack there just to keep it secured. I'm marking it to make it even as possible because we are giving her, you know, the bunny ears and stuff. So I just want to make sure I, you know, do it as even and symmetrical as possible. On a piece of paper, I am tracing the shape of the bunny ears, the bunny ear bun that I want to be, that Chibiusa has, or Black Lady. And over here I made two pairs of right and left. And I'm actually going to sandwich them together to kind of create a little bit more of a 3D piece. And so I'm taking this end and I'm cutting it on, you know, the bottom and then the other one on the top. I don't know if I explained that correctly, but I'm pretty much creating this thing like a cross 3D piece with two papers and stuff just to help it look more 3D, and I'm just gluing that onto the wig cap. And now for her hair wefts, I am using acrylic yarn that I processed and turned into hair wefts over here. This is a beautiful baby pink color, and as you can see, it's very, very fluffy and soft. But actually for the hair buns, I am gluing just excess materials and stuff just to make it look more fluffy, and it will help be smooth when we actually glue the wefts together. And as usual, I start by gluing the hair wefts onto the edges of the wig cap, the nape of the neck, and everything. You always want to work up. Start from the bottom and work your way up and stuff like that, because it is like a layering technique and stuff. Now for her hairline for the front, you guys know how like all of the Sailor Moon characters pretty much are all, they have the bangs, and they have that specific bangs with the rooted middle part. So I wanted to really try that, and for that one I want to credit James Mansfield for this. She has a video on how to kind of create a fake hairline on a hard front wig, which usually most of my doll wigs are hard front, I guess, per se. So I want to credit her for that. But yeah, thank you James for that tutorial. It definitely helps with the dolls, you know? And of course we have to give her the curly tendrils, so over here I'm just gluing some pieces here for later. Now for the back of her head, for the actual pigtails, this is gonna be, it's a doozy, you guys. So like I said, I was really inspired by the Kate Moss YSL ad that Naoko drew. So I was like, okay, I want to really recreate how her hair looks over there. And as you guys know, like in this artwork, it's pretty wavy. It's not like a traditional, like, you know, pigtails where it's just straight down and then it curls in the end. Her hair is like literal waves, like S waves, and it looks like water. So I was like, maybe I can try doing that technique, kind of like a finger wave almost, but on a placemat plastic over here. And maybe I can do it with the yarn, and I will layer it and layer it and layer it. And over here I'm using water to really sculpt it, and also mousse and also hairspray. So this is the idea. I wanted it to look like this, and I mean, it looks really cool so far. However, in the very end, it kind of looks like a mess. It's not really up to par with how I wanted it. So I had to come up with a different technique. And so I went to my local beauty supply store and I got this, and it's the only one in this color. And I was like, okay, it's the only one that's baby pink. And as you can see, it's Virgin French Wave with a closure, and it's really, really long, really, really beautiful. It does have the black roots, which I don't really mind because, you know, we can cut that out anyway. But at this point I was like, oh my god, I hope this will be my saving grace. We don't know, you know, it's all trial and error. I really wanted to stick with the idea that it looks like the wave, like very, very anime and just graphic looking. So over here, I am just processing it. As you can see, look at this. It's so, so nice. It's so, so pink. I'm gonna go ahead and straighten it just so we can see where the roots are at, and I can cut that away. And then as usual, I am making wefts out of these, just, you know, like how I usually do it. I just put hot glue onto my silicone placemat over here, and I'm just pressing the hair wefts and the hair together. And because I do want to give it, the, you know, the curl, the S-wave, I feel like if it's too straight of a hair, it won't really, like, be malleable. So I'm just curling it a little bit just to give it some curl and just some bounciness. And as you can see, this is what we have, and I'm brushing it out. It looks really, really good. Like, either or, like, in my head I was like, well, if the graphic look that I'm trying to go for doesn't work, I can always go for this type of pigtail, which is, you know, traditional, like, doll pigtail. But I was really going for the high fashion Kate Moss YSL ad that, you know, Black Lady was modeled after. So I was like, let's do it, and this time it won't be a fail. I used mousse again to sculpt it, and I'm just, you know, look at, this is the technique. I was researching on YouTube on how to make the finger waves, which is pretty much what this is, or at least I'm trying to do finger waves. So yeah, usually they use mousse, sometimes they even use soap, which is really, really cool, but yeah. And I'm just using a hairdryer over here just to seal the mousse in, to seal the got-to-be hair glue. You know, this took a lot. It was a lot. I'm lifting it up a little bit just so that it doesn't really glue down onto the placemat. But as you can see, this is what we have. We have to clean it up a little bit, but I mean, this is the comparison. This is the one made out of yarn. As you can see, it's not cute. It's really not cute, and you guys know I use yarn a lot, but for this one I was like, we gotta go with something that literally looks like actual hair, and just the comparison is cool. It's crazy. There is a color difference, I gotta say, but it's really not that. It looks really cool, actually. I like how it's darker in the back. It gives it more dimension, and it's more rosy. Like, the wig is, the hair itself is actually more rosy than anything, which is really nice. So I'm just gluing that in the back of her bun, and I am blending the yarn onto it using got-to-be spray. And you will see it blends so, so well. I mean, look at that. Pretty seamless, I have to say. Now let's go ahead and curl those tendrils. I'm just using my heated metal chopsticks. And this is our wig so far. Look at that. I am really, really obsessed with how the hair turned out. Like I said, the wig took the longest, you guys. It was like a week. I do want to give her some hair accessories, so I'm using some Preciosa crystals over here, which is, I believe, the direct competition to Swarovski, which is really cool. I am just giving her some, you know, gems over here, kind of to mirror the Chibiusa look that she has when she transforms into Sailor Chibiusa. So I thought it was kind of cool. And I really like, it's kind of crazy when you use like crystals, like actual expensive crystals, because they're literally like mirror, they glimmer and stuff. I'm like, wow. Over here I'm just taking my resin metallic pigments that I use for highlighter, and I am just giving her a bit of shimmer in her hair, because why not? Now for her costume, I want to say a huge thank you to the Plastic Biz from Instagram, and they created this beautiful set I have for Black Lady. As you can see, we have the red shirt over here, the undershirt. It's very transparent. I love the fabric that they chose. I don't know what fabric it is. Don't ask me about textiles. But I also love the red dress. This is like the same fabric I used for Azula. And I love it because it shifts from like black to red. Like this is like the perfect red, I think, for Black Lady. And it's just so nice. It's very evil looking. So it's cool. And I love that in the back it is the corset look, because I told them that I will be modifying the body. They also included this blue underskirt, which I'm actually not going to be using, unfortunately, because the blue is a little bit too light blue for my liking. So I'll show you guys what I will use later, but as you can see, it's really nice still. The execution is amazing. And fun fact, I got this in 2020. So it's been 2 years since I had this costume just out here laying around. So that's kind of how advanced I have to think about the dolls that I make. Like the fact that I ordered this in 2020, it arrived the same time as I did my Morticia Addams doll. So yeah, it's been a while. We are using the Preciosa crystals just to give her neck area the glam, the crystals that it needed. So yeah, I mean, it was really cool. And this is what I have. As you can see over here, lots of crystals, you guys. Oh my god, I went to the store maybe like 3 times because I was trying to find more and more of this specific shape of the Preciosa crystals. But it's all worth it in the end. Like, wow. Oh my god, I just love how it shimmers. For her chest piece over here, you guys are probably familiar. This is all of the filigree, detail, Baroque inspired things I use for my Ursula doll. So I will be doing the same exact thing. I'm taking this too over here and I'm making a mold out of it. I know I've made a mold out of it before, but for some reason I cannot find any of those molds. So I was like, instead of wasting my time trying to look for it, I'm just gonna make another one. So it's the same exact thing with epoxy. Like you mix 2 equal parts together for this mold, and then you just press what you want to make a mold out of. And this actually cures in like 3 to 5 minutes, so it really takes, it's really like short, and it doesn't take a long time, which is really nice. Again, with my epoxy sculpt, mixing 2 equal parts together, and also I'm spraying the mold with some water just so that the epoxy will be easy to take out and remove. I'm just pressing the clay onto it and making sure it's smooth out and leveled, and I'm actually removing it, so I'm not waiting for it to cure in there. I'm removing it so that I can let it cure on top of the doll, so that it forms with the doll's curves, if you know what I mean. So yeah. And of course, I wrap the doll with plastic wrap. You don't want to make direct contact with a uncured clay because it will be messy. So I waited for it to dry, to cure for a day, and this is what we have. So I'm just painting it all in acrylic black as a baseline, and then I'm going at it with gold. And this one specifically, I believe, is called antique gold. And there you go, look at that. The artwork that Nooko made, she gave Black Lady a lot of well, I don't know, like it's like beads for her ankles, for her shoes. So I kind of want to mirror that onto her dress. So over here I'm just using this metal beaded chain, I guess. It's the perfect kind of like garnet ruby color, and I am just stitching that onto her dress. Stitching, not gluing. Can you believe it? And for this one, I know that she gave her 3 onto her ankles, but for the doll, I'm only using 2, like 2 chains and everything, because like 2 rows of the beads, because it was too bulky looking if it was 3. I also have this fairy tale crescent moon charm thingy, and I thought it would be perfect to use as well for her chest. So I'm putting that inside the dress actually, and I'm layering it under all of the filigree and stuff. I'm using this bead cap over here also. And then I'm putting kind of like a gem. I couldn't find a Swarovski or a Preciosa gem for this piece, but it still glimmers really well, I think. And this is actually the underskirt that I will be using. I got this from a local fabric store, and yes, I didn't sew it. I cut it up into the pieces that I need, and then I glued the edges, because you're in my channel. Sewing is it's not priority here, but I think the glue actually works well. I was using Elmer's glue, and I think it's pretty clean looking. It just kind of like highlights the edges or something, so it's kind of fun. For her shawl, here I'm using this wire. I want her shawl to be posable, and then I'm taking this fabric over here. Same exact, haul. I got it from the same local store, Hetty's fabric store here in Las Vegas, and I think it's the perfect color. And I cut it up in the long rectangle shawl piece, and I'm just sewing this wire onto it. For her earrings, I am taking this Elizabeth earrings. This one is so perfect for a lot of Sailor Moon characters, a lot of the Black Moon Clan characters, because they have the time warping earring. And this is like the perfect base for it. I'm just changing the actual screw, and I'm using a pin over here, a gold pin. I'm painting it gold, and I'm actually keeping the purple gem on that because it's purple. I am dry brushing it with black to give it a little bit more of antique-y, rustic look. And over here I have my charms, my nail charms over here, a lot of moons, a lot of stars. And I'm taking these 2 crescent moon, and I am layering them side by side together. This is definitely a lot more detailed than when I made Koan. With her earring, I was like, I want to go crazy with this earring, so I think it looks really good. For her shoes, you guys already know, you saw it from a mile away. We will be using Model Muse pumps because that is my favorite Barbie heel, and of course we're just painting it red with the red bottoms because duh. It's so nice. This one is the red of it is so perfect. Now let's go ahead and work on her face, and as usual I am taking my acetone. You may also use nail polish remover if it has acetone in it. It just makes it so much easier to remove the factory paint of the doll. If not, you will be scrubbing away for hours, like pushing and pulling the paint. So yeah. And as usual, I also sprayed her with Mr. Super Clear twice to prime her face so that we have something to work on, so that our pencils, our pastels, our paint, our blush, all of it has something to hold on to. It gives the vinyl rubbery doll head a paper-like texture, so it's really nice. And if you're new to the channel, it's like Photoshop. You work in layers, lots of layers to build your colors and everything. So that's what Mr. Super Clear does. It saves your work. and you can work on top of it, and then it saves your work again, and then you work on top of it again, and then it saves your work again. So it's just like layers of layers, you know? Do be careful when you're working with too much layers because it can be prone to cracking. So yeah. For her makeup, I just wanted her to look very, very regal and kind of simple, I guess, for a glamour look. Not really giving her a smoky eye that I usually give, but definitely heavy on the wing liner, the shape of her eyebrows, her lips, like all of that was very paramount, and I had to make sure it made sense with her hair as well, so yeah. I'm just taking my pastels in purple and I'm giving her some eyeshadow over here, and I thought like just very, very like smoky, like blurred out eyeshadow of purple is good enough. And yeah, I did define it a little bit with some blue and indigo color just to give her crease some dimension. And of course, we are blushing her. A lot of things with Barbies is that they do have blushes, but they don't have contour. And I feel like for all of my dolls, or at least for most of them, they are contoured at the cheekbones, they are contoured at the jaw. Like, they're drag queens. You know, what can I say? We're also defining her nostrils because why not? It just gives it more dimension. And I am contouring her nose slightly. I feel like I've said dimension so much in this video. It's like one of those, take a shot. Every time I say dimension or freaking what else do I say? Let's go ahead. Oh, I say a lot of let's go ahead, you know? It's like a drinking game. I'm gonna do my best to create more Sailor Moon characters. Like I said, specifically the villains. They're just up my alley a little bit more with the looks, and most of them are Mugler inspired, so I think it's just apropos. Who should I make next? Comment below your suggestions. And now it's time for the eyeliner. Oh my god, you guys know it's my favorite part. We love a good wing over here, and I am actually really obsessed with this eye shape that I created. I just really, really love how the eyeliner looks, and I love how her eyes look. And I'm actually not trying to give her pupils. I wanted her eyes to look like rabbit eyes, like, you know, because she doesn't have a black pupil, so I did add some black just to give it dimension. But I'm going over it again with red to blur it out. I'm taking my white acrylic paint to paint over her scleras and also give her teeth. Now we are using red paint for her lips, and this one, I gotta be so careful for this one not to make mistakes and make sure to stay inside the lines. I'm giving her some subtle lower lashes. I don't want to give it too dramatic of an eyelash. I just want it to be, regal and elegant, not too much really drama. I mean, both. I like it both. And of course, let's go ahead and give her some highlighter, and for this one I used 3 different highlighters, actually I think 4. A pink one, a gold one, a silver one, and then a white one. So look at her, she looks amazing though. To highlight her irises, I am giving her some pink highlight for the iris. I feel like that looks really cool. And for her lips, I am giving it some dimension using shadows and pastels. I just like it when the lips are shadowed as well towards the end. I feel like it makes it look more perky and more 3D. And of course, with paint, we are giving her some catch lights. And now it's time for the 3D lashes, and I usually use fake human lashes, the individual one, and I believe for this one, each eye had 6 lashes. And while the lashes are drying, I am also glossing up her lips. Again, with highlighter, because you can never go wrong with a lot of highlighter. Now let's go ahead and work on her crescent moon, and over here I'm just taking the nail charm again and I'm painting it with matte acrylic paint in black. And I am just gluing that onto her forehead. And make sure it's upside down. And voila! We are pretty much done with Chibiusa, or Black Lady's face. And as you can see, oh my god, her jaw is contoured, the house, like, I love how her cheekbones and the blushing just blends in together. Oh my god, it's so nice. I love it. I almost forgot to give her some paint for her corset because there is some skin peeking through, so I was like, I have to make sure I paint it black. And now it's time to put everything together. And yeah, I wanted to keep her legs. I know that her legs are showing, and usually I would body blush the legs, but for this one I wanted her legs to be shiny. Like, I really like how that looked, so I was like, I'll just keep it unblushed, and you know, I'll keep it like that. And again, for the beads, I'm using the same exact beads that I used for her chest, and this is what we have. I'm only using 2, because 3 is too bulky looking. Now let's put on some accessories, like her earrings. Oh my god, it's coming together, you guys. This doll's left hand does have a hole for the ring, so I'm just putting a bead there, you know, just to make it all cohesive. And of course, we have to give her some acrylic nails, and for this one, I am using hot glue. And then after the hot glue is dried, you can go ahead and trim it and shape it to your liking. And of course, we're using red because it's appropriate to use red for this one. And voila, look at look at that. And it's time for the shawl. So this is the shawl. I know I didn't give you guys a full shot of the shawl, but it's just a long rectangle piece. And of course, it's time for the crowning glory, the hair. Oh my god, look at that. I'm freaking out. I don't know if you guys know. Over here, because we did put the wire onto the shawl, I am shaping it, giving it that ripple effect, so it's like blowing at the wind. And now we're done.